Testing 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. And this is Cleanpin, episode 39, 9th of September. Live on YouTube, live on Anchor, Stitch, Spotify, Apple iTunes. Or will be live actually as soon as the recording is up. And anywhere you get your podcasts. We talk about wrestling. AEW, WWE, TNA, Impact Wrestling, everything under the sun, and a lot to get into. The one thing kind of, I guess the news over the last couple of days was AEW's pay-per-view. And they fell under a lot of criticism. A lot of criticism. So much so that it was really they were just trying to do damage control, and the way that they were going about doing it was pretty embarrassing, pretty inexcusable. So there was a spot during the pay-per-view, which Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy are up there, and they take a tumble. They take a pretty nasty fall, and the match was stopped, and then a doctor comes out. It was actually the same doctor that worked on Jerry Lawler, if I'm not mistaken, when he had his heart attack. I believe it was Dr. Sampson. So, now, just to be frank, we don't know 100% of the story. They're saying that he was cleared. Matt was saying that I guess that he was fine to go, that he could go. And if you looked at him, he had shaky legs, spaghetti legs. Was not in the right mindset to be in there. Nonetheless, he says he could go, and he's done. He's in. He's in there. He continues the match, and it gets a lot of criticism. Gets a lot of criticism on Twitter. It gets bashed on Twitter, and AEW's trying to do damage control. Tony Khan comes there, saying, that he was cleared and it wasn't a concussion. Throughout that whole pay-per-view, they were making it a point to let you know that Matt Hardy was A-OK and that he was not concussed. Concussed, is that the word? Concussed. That he was not injured. And honestly, after that spot, I don't know. It seemed like the pay-per-view in a whole just kind of went on a downward trend. So Tony Khan again says, he stopped the match. He stopped the match. So if you think about it, if he stopped the match, who started the match? Who started the match? Safe to say Tony Khan. In this day and age, how you see football, hockey, especially football, concussions, even baseball, concussion protocol. This is a big red flag. You cannot send a guy out there who is, visibly just doesn't even know where he is. Cannot allow him to go out there and just continue the match. He's a liability to himself. He's a liability to the wrestlers, to everyone that's out there. I don't know what made Tony Khan do that. It might have been the fact of, okay, here's Matt Hardy. He's saying that he's fine. Matt Hardy has been around wrestling 20-something years. I'm going to go with what Matt Hardy is telling me. And I'm going to let him go out there. Can't do that. As an athlete, that's going to be his first response. I'm fine. I could do it. Let me go out there. Just can't do it. You can't do it. You hear, you hear stories of, wrestlers dying, being injured. You just cannot let a guy go out there. I'm sure Matt Hardy maybe wanted the show to go on. Didn't want the show just the match to end on a note like that it was on. But you can't be. It doesn't. It doesn't work like that. It does not work, and it helps. It helps nobody. It helps nobody. You need more professionals out there. These guys have been in the ring a very long time. You have people in the back that have been in the ring a very long time. Really, it's really, really inexcusable as to why that happened. Now, a guy like Matt Hardy at this point, why is he even putting himself in that type of why are you even putting yourself in that type of a position, that type of a predicament? Something like that. I know that the Hardys are known for they're known for high risk maneuvers, high flying actions. but you're so many years into um, wrestling now that you don't need to do that. Um, just especially he's not younger. He's older now, so it's if you're looking to you know keep your career or extend your career rather and keep it going to I just don't think to put together a match that you really need to be doing stuff like that. He has enough of a character, many characters in which he could go, in which he could use. Now, granted, it really hasn't, and with COVID and everything else, it's just been a weird. It's been a weird, just a weird time altogether. No crowds just recently. Really, there have been crowds coming back at a limited capacity. By the way, did you see that dude that just he probably meant no harm, but probably was just trying to do a pound or a pat Moxley on the back. But did you see that dude just get completely clobbered? Wow, that fan. Gotta adhere to the social distancing. Gotta adhere to it. But yeah, just really inexcusable, and that's a big red mark on him. Twitter was going rampant and wild, and Tony Khan was trying to backpedal. It was kind of embarrassing how he was trying to backpedal, or just trying to justify starting a match. Restarting a match 1 minute after the dude is just completely knocked into a different stratosphere. Sometimes it's just best to maybe say, listen, this one's on me, my mistake. Crucial mistake. I should not have done that, and just move on. Just move on. Really, just a bad look all around. You look at other news coming in besides the AEW pay-per-view, and you look at news earlier on in the week where AOP was released. Both of them, unfortunately for them, both of them were released, and this tag team, it just, what can you say? It really just, it never really worked out for them at all. Just as soon as they were out there in the ring, someone would get injured. One of them would get injured. They in NXT, they had Paul Ellering, which helped them mightily, helped them greatly. And then, for whatever the reason, WWE felt that when they get called up initially, that you don't need Ellering. So right after their debut, pretty much, Ellering is released. And they go on. They then get Spud, Drake Maverick. And hold on here 1 second. There we go. We just had to plug you guys in because we were about ready with the battery to go kaput. But yeah, then they get Drake Maverick. So you have, and don't get me wrong, Drake Maverick could do a lot of things if you checked out his work in Impact. Man does a lot of things. He could play the comedy angle. He could wrestle a little bit too. Um, but he played mostly comedy. To be frank, and if we're keeping honest with each other, and and then they want him to play a serious role. For Drake Maverick is like what 5'2", 5'3", and AOP is like 6'5". So it's just it's just that looks silly, and then the whole Peter's pants angle of the Big Show that made AOP kind of look silly, made Drake look silly, and then one of them got injured. Then they do vignettes where they make them look like this badass team, which they should be with the size that both of them have. Make them look like a badass team, and then have them with Seth Rollins, a heel that works good when he has people to bounce off of. Remember when Seth Rollins had was it J&J the J&J faction duo there to bounce off of. It worked beautifully. So you had AOP, and that was working for a short time, and then they get injured again, and we're off TV, and really creative have nothing for them. It's a shame. Sometimes I think when you're out there long enough and you get opportunity after opportunity, and you can't come through with it, not because of not trying, but because of just bad luck, injury, you really, there's only so much that I think WWE was willing to invest in them. And then they're still young. They're a powerhouse team. They could definitely find work. Where would they go? I don't know. Would they go to AEW? I don't think AEW really is the place for them. AEW has a bunch of smaller guys, so kind of hard, smaller teams rather, to work with them to make it look believable. I don't think that's a good fit. I think probably Impact Wrestling would be, a good fit for them. Even a Fed like NWA, where they really do not have to really. Again, I'm probably just impartial, just a big fan of NWA, but NWA. They really would not have to speak on the mic much, which was their strongest point. NWA kind of focuses, although they have a lot of good promos, NWA focuses more on what's in the ring. So I think AOP, either Impact Wrestling or NWA would be a very good fit for them. So you wish the AOP best luck in their endeavors, and you see, who knows, maybe at a time they will come back to WWE. We'll go tight here for 1 second. We're going to take a quick little breaky poo. Converse amongst yourselves. There was a bunch of hoopla where everyone, all the all the WWE haters were quick to jump on board and bash the WWE train there, the WWE machine. But if you think about it, it was really much to do about nothing. A lot of people really didn't understand, I think, the dirt sheets and the podcasts. And I wish I would have done a video on it earlier. You know, but a lot of people were making a big stink, a big fuss about the edict that WWE had, where the wrestlers were not able to, you know, participate under, you know, third parties like Cameo, you know, Twitch, YouTube, and everyone is quick to bash WWE. Plain and simple, all that it means is if you're going on, let's say, YouTube, Cameo, Twitch as your performer name, then that's a no-no. Because that name, that performer name, is owned by the WWE, and that is in the contract that you own, that you signed for. And I'm sure, as with every contract, I mean, this is a contract that's worth a great amount of money. It's not a contract to work at a, you know, a deli. This is a contract to work with a company that is traded publicly, who's your employer, and you, who are the person receiving said contract, is the performer. So employee and performer, rest assured, I am sure, have attorneys that look over this contract and make sure everything is ethical. Simply put, if your name is John Wayne, if that's your real name, and your wrestling name is John Stans, and people, and you wrestle under that name of John Stans, well, when you go on Cameo, when you go on Twitch, when you go on YouTube, you cannot use the name John Stans, your performer name. You could only use, you know, because it's outside of a WWE endorsed product. WWE is not making money on it by you using your real name. You're using their likeness, and so you can't use that name for outside third-party deals. But WWE has no problem with you using your real name. Your real name. And that's all that needed to be done. Is just simply. And apparently they've already, some wrestlers apparently have already done this, where they just simply put, they changed they changed from their performer name to the real name, and all is forgiven. And a story that people make into a big mountain, a big molehill, is really, in actuality, not that big of a deal if you think about it. In this day and age that we're in, the internet day and age, if people want to find out your YouTube, your Twitch, your Instagram, you have to use your real name. You will use your real name. They will find out what your real name is. The power of the internet, folks. Power of the internet. Think about it too. Think about it from WWE's, point of view, right up until this point. With how popular some of these wrestlers are, if they're on Twitch, they're on YouTube, they could be easily making like 100, 200, off a year. If they're really like, they can be making another 100 grand just being on social media, on Cameo, twitching, Twitch, and all the live streams, just being on there. They could be making with the followers that they have and the donations that they receive, making easily another 100 to 200 grand, depending on how they hustle, based on how popular that social media account is. So it's really not a big deal. And I kind of laugh right around this time, when the whole issue of being an independent contractor, which again is a contract that the wrestlers have signed, this whole issue kind of sticks its head out again about independent contractors. Which, by the way, the WWE does, even though they're independent contractors, they do receive extra money to get health care, to get themselves insured. So listen, if their contract was supposed to be for, let's say, 100,000, they give out a contract for 120,000. That way they could cover their health insurance. Now, whether they use it or not, it's their call. But again, I find it funny. All this issue comes out about the issue of independent contractors and whatnot. How come no one How come no one, if they're so concerned, how come no one forms like a union, right? If this is such a big deal, like I maybe like who am I? I'm just a regular Joe Schmo here, but who am I? But why hasn't anyone stepped forward and started creating, um, you know, creating a wrestlers union? Just my thought there. My thought. On AE's going, skipping back to AEW Dynamite today, which is actually, again, September 9th. We're going into September 10th. But we've seen the debut of Miro, Rusev. He's apparently the best man. Funny. Funny how things work sometimes. You know, and listen, this is just me, again, who am I? But Rusev or Miro, last time we seen him, he was part of a wedding angle. And now we see him in AEW, part of a wedding angle. And I laugh and I chuckle. I chuckle too. You guys didn't think he was serious when he said that he was retired, that he was just going to be a gamer. Come on now. I'm sure you guys didn't just think that, didn't believe that. But, and Miro was there, cutting a promo. And it just seems to be, remember, Miro, Rusev, just he mentioned that there were no hard feelings with WWE. He has nothing really bad to say about WWE. I mean, he thanked them. He got to visit many places, live out his dream, found his wife, the person that he would marry in WWE. So he's like, what's there to be bitter at WWE? And then we see him come out and he cuts a promo about how he has been in WWE for 10 years and trying to reach the imaginary brass ring, something to that effect. And he goes, basically says, screw the brass ring. It's why does every guy that come out of like not only AEW or another promotion, why is it that guy whenever a guy leaves said promotion, enters a new promotion, the first promo that he has to do is just knock the other prior promo, the prior organization that he worked for? Why is that? Is this like the standard thing that is guaranteed to happen? Kind of like when, there's a contract signing that it's a guarantee that the table will flop. be broken. Why? Why feel the need to just, cut that type of a promo on WWE? Especially if you said that there are no hard feelings. I will tell you, I will tell you this though, that they definitely missed They definitely missed the boat on Miro or Rusev. Rusev Day and the combination that they had with Aiden English was wow. Was something special, and now you do not have that. You don't have that. You had it in WWE. It was over. Fans wanted. They wanted Rusev. They couldn't get enough of him. He got himself over. No, and Aiden English did play a part in that. By the way, where is it? Yeah. Aiden English was released too. He whole lot of talent as well. But it's just speaking on, they just I think completely missed the boat on Rusev, and now especially since he got himself even in better shape than what he was before. I think they definitely missed the boat, and I think you could expect some good things out of Miro in AEW. Speaking of NWA, 10 pounds of gold, a match, a challenge was put down there by Bennett, Mike Bennett, take on Nick Aldis. And it looks like that match will take place. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, we're back here. Yeah, like I was saying, Aldis, Bennett, NWA. Looks like that's the match that we'll see. Now, excuse me here. Maybe I'm just, overthinking this. And again, this is just me. Um, Tom Schmo here. Thinking to myself, by the way, Aiden English was actually, he will be at Zelo Pro Wrestling. So, look forward to that. You could follow, his handle is, was Drama King Matt. follow me on this. Okay. And I'm a huge, huge NWA fan. If you follow my channel, you would know that I'm a huge NWA fan. This championship, Sweet Charlotte, it's a precious title. It's 10 pounds of gold. Now, you have to earn a shot at that title. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You have to earn your opportunities. They're not just given to you, at least how we understand it, how I understood it in NWA. It's a wrestling promotion. How it was built, you need to justify your reasoning for even challenging the championship. Am I wrong? Am I thinking too much about this? Fact of the matter is, we at NWA, we know that there are other organizations there. We know that there is AEW. We know that there is WWE. We know that there is Impact. But us as NWA, we recognize one championship, and that's Sweet Charlotte. We know what other wrestlers are doing. And last time we seen Mike Bennett, he was Mike Canales. And just losing constantly in the WWE at an embarrassing, alarming rate. Now, with that being said, why, if you're Aldis, why would you accept that and not say, "Listen, go back and go to the back of the line, bud"? You come from AEW, you come from WWE, where you were barely wrestling. You were running around after a hardcore championship. What makes you challenge me for Sweet Charlotte for 10 pounds of gold? Who are you? Heck, you should go in the back of the line. This title should be defended against someone who's been, worthy and has been winning matches. What makes it you? Mike Bennett? What makes it you? That's what I don't understand, and that's why I think like NWA sometimes needs a commissioner or something in along those lines. What is the? If we've been following NWA and what they stand for, tradition. You have to wrestle. You have to make your name in the business. How is Mike Bennett getting a championship opportunity? Asking for a friend. Two quick things that I want to get into, and we'll wrap up this episode. And I thank you for downloading this. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Lets me know that you care. Hit the thumbs up. Retribution. Okay. And I'm trying to make it. Stay positive. I'm trying to make it with this. I'm trying to. Retribution is, if you think about it, the main angle right now that they're really putting a lot of time in and investing in. Storyline stupidity here. If Retribution attacks, which they've done, so that's what does not make sense to me. But again, I don't work for the NWA. I just work. NWA, hire me. Just and going back to Retribution, okay? After this past week's episode of so Retribution comes in. They raise hell on. They just cause raise hell and Retribution. Now, if Retribution is an organization that just comes in and raises hell, it just messes everything up, throwing candles away, just everywhere, wreaking havoc. WWE doesn't want them. How? How is it that Retribution gets their own logo? They're not part of the company. They're outlaws. They're renegades. They wreak havoc. They wreak hell. They destroy everything. How do they have their own logo now when they did that promo? Why, if you're in the WWE, why in the back would you, storyline wise, allow the Retribution to go in and create a logo for themselves? Right? I just think it's stupidity, real storyline stupidity, and I just hope that the reveal for Retribution is well worth it. One last thing here. Who's going to appear on the Firefly Funhouse for this coming Friday? Well, I think there's a lot of things I wish could happen. Who's going to be appearing on the Firefly Funhouse? It's probably wrong. Probably, that interaction is long and done with. But I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss to make that once you go, you could never come back approach. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think that's going to be the guest on Bray's Funhouse. That's it, guys. We're at the 48-minute mark here of this podcast. Just want to go over a quick couple of news for you that I didn't have the chance to go over. And actually, this is fun to do. A little bit late here. It's already 12:45, but we're going to call it a night. I hope you guys had fun. I should be doing this live every week. If not, then it's pre-recorded. You obviously know by hitting the notification button when I'm on. But, that's it for now with this channel. I'm going to be looking forward to doing a couple more live streams during the week. Always keep that notification on. I let you know that, I've uploaded a video. I hope all is well, guys, and I